Byte. An ingenious application allows you to tailor news and information to your personal needs. 1 billion Chinese who've been frustrated by the alphabetic keyboard can now use handwriting recognition. And a new CD-ROM allows you to roam through Graceland and the King's memorabilia. Hi there, welcome again to The Big Byte. In this episode, we explore the fascinating opportunities offered by CD-ROM, and we see if virtual reality is all it's cracked up to be.
Look at an average newspaper stand in Europe today, and it's difficult to work out where you are. The papers on sale here come from all over the globe. British papers published in Frankfurt, Japanese and American papers transmitted by satellite and available here almost as quickly as they are in their hometown. But as impressive as that may be, the basic production of a newspaper hasn't really changed much in centuries. It's ink and paper technology. And after what I've seen being developed in Norway, I can only wonder whether this is going to make it into the 21st century. The problem for the newspapers is that the same satellites and data lines they use to collect the news can now be delivered directly to us at home. Josten Svensson is developing a simple system we can use at home to navigate our way through a vast sea of information. His interactive TV is designed to filter out the noise and bring us only the information we may find useful.
It's impossible for an ordinary human being to keep up with all the information flooding the society right now. It's lots of different TV channels, lots of newspapers, lots of magazines, and now lots of wire services is available in the home over telephone lines or the nets. So I wanted to make an application which helped the ordinary people to navigate the net.
To bring all this information together into the home.
And to find the interesting parts which you are interested in. This application can find it for you.
Well, let's have a look at how it works. So we're up there and we want to have a look at a news story. So take us in.
Yeah, you just click the news button. And when you come home and you want to see the news, it presents a list of headlines of the news that has been searching for you, let's say for the last few days or for the last few hours. And then you just look at the headlines, and if you find an interesting story.
I see Michael Jackson there. Let's have a look what that says.
Yeah, you just click on the headline and it goes into the story. And this is a story from the United Press International, but you can see a picture up here, and that says that there is also some TV coverage. You can choose if you want to read the text or you want to see the news story.
Let's say we want to know about Michael Jackson, but not about sex and this famous trial he was involved in.
If you don't want the sex stories, you'd say not sex. And then the program automatically has a search string for you. And you just hit the search button, and it will search all the 4,800 databases in just a few seconds.
And so that's gone to, what, a supercomputer in the States, hasn't it, in the United States, and then come back to you here in Norway?
Yes, right now it's a supercomputer over in the United States, which has built an index of all the other databases all over the world.
Now, if I didn't have time to watch the television, sit down and watch it, and play with the screen, could the machine help me find out information in other ways?
Yes, you can ask the application to read the news to you. And we are using standard text-to-speech synthesizers.
International notes status of public health, Bosnia and Herzegovina, August-September 1993 since 19...
One of the other interesting things about your program is I think you've discovered at last the first foolproof method of being able to record material off air on your home video recorder.
Yeah, that is one of the things we have been looking into. This program makes a schedule of all the different channels you have available. Let's say if you look at here at the MTV for today, you can just click here at the big picture to market to be recorded.
So it seems pretty idiot-proof at last.
And it also makes an archive of all your recordings.
What do you think about the future of traditional newspapers and magazines? Are their days numbered?
No, not exactly. Most people will stay with their ordinary newspaper. But we will see a transition from analog media to digital media over the next few years. And I think, as you can see in this program, that newspapers and television will be more of the same in the future.
Printing presses like this have become museum pieces, and perhaps for the newspaper itself, the writing is already on the wall.
You got a problem?
Hello? Yeah, okay. Fine, I'll see you in a minute. Bye. When you finally reach the end of your working day, it's important to resist the temptation to just switch off your computer and walk away. As tempting as it is not to, you should close all your files and applications before you shut down. This safeguard makes sure that all your files are saved and lets the computer close its own files and empty the memory in an orderly way, which it likes. On the Apple, as I learnt the hard way, there's a shutdown command in the special menu bar which closes all the files for you and tells you when to turn off the power to the Mac. Windows also shuts down its own files when you exit, but even though you can turn off an Intel-based computer without exiting Windows, it's safer to exit first so that it can save any files you haven't. Windows can run DOS applications for you, but it can't shut them down. You have to shut them down yourself using the exit command before you can leave Windows properly. Some people might tell you never to turn a computer off because it wears out the hard disk. This isn't the case. The hard disk is tough enough to turn off every day for 27 years before it needs replacing, by which time your computer would be way, way out of date. By turning your computer off, you'll minimise energy consumption, fire danger and reduce noise. Although you have to wait while it starts up again and loads the software, it's hardly a disadvantage, more like enough time to make a cup of coffee. Many notebooks save you even this trouble. They let you turn them off, saving everything exactly as you left it. When you turn it on again, there it is, ready to start work straight away.
This week's competition prize goes to Gordon Reid of Blackburn, New South Wales. Don't forget our fantastic computer animation competition. You can win great prizes from Compaq and LacoVision. Entries must be on Intel-based discs in the flick file format. Your style is what we want, so don't worry about disk space or length of your work. Get animated now.
One of the world's great trading centres, Hong Kong is a blend of the traditions of the East and the latest technology from around the world. Mobile telephones, calculators, televisions, video and hi-fi are rife. But while personal computers are available in many shops, they haven't caught on to quite the same extent. And there's one very simple reason why: the keyboard. The standard keyboard was designed for the Western alphabet, but when you try to use it for Chinese characters, it's extremely clumsy and laborious. There are literally hundreds of Chinese characters, so to be able to type them using a 26-letter keyboard, a typist must press a series of keys to get the right combinations for those characters. A fast operator like Jenny using a Chinese character keyboard can write 10 characters a minute. When you compare that to a Western typist's 70 to 100 words a minute, you can see why the PC hasn't been a great boon to Chinese business. But a Hong Kong-based company decided with a potential market of up to 1 billion people, it was worth trying to change that. It's as simple as learning to write. The technology is called the Note Pen, and it aims to make computing much easier.
Actually, using a pen to input is much easier for people because the concept is built from when you are very small, first trying to write something on a piece of paper, and now you can use this concept to work on the computer.
Aslan Lam is a self-confessed computer addict who's been intrigued by the possibilities and limitations of the hardware since he was at school.
You get a note pen with the writing pad, and then you connect it to a normal computer, a desktop one. A desktop one may be a 386 or a 486, a PC. And then with the appropriate software, then you can write handwriting Chinese character and turn it to typeface. So maybe I write the character, use the handwriting. It is the face that represents computer. Okay, this is my handwriting. It's not so good. And then I can write it into our recognizer. It will recognize as the typeface right there. And then it will transfer, you can transfer it to anywhere on the page. For example, I transfer right here. So it is a typed character.
On the market for just 2 months, the Note Pen has already won converts. Neurosurgeon Dr. John Kwok says it's revolutionised his preparation for operations and his record keeping. Medical imaging, the ability for clear pictures from CAT scans, angiograms and other tests to be stored on computers, is now part of the technology most neurosurgeons have at their disposal. What they haven't had up till now is a simple method of putting their opinions onto the image itself. A mouse was too unwieldy and not specific enough to clearly show tumours and other problem areas.
But now we come up with a pen that we can do that. We can draw directly onto the imaging. And so we can put whatever inside our head onto the imaging as well to make the information more useful.
How has it changed the way that you work?
It makes us more efficient. I think it will reduce a lot of time and bring our medical record more meaningful in the future. We can actually store it and we can retrieve it, and we have make a breakthrough that we don't have to worry about. Some people may not understand the medical terms. We can put it in Chinese, so even ordinary student nurse can understand what it is.
While Dr. Kwok has some computer literacy, one of the benefits of the Note Pen is that it's been designed for people unfamiliar with the technology. Once you have become familiar, though, you can even teach the Note Pen your own version of shorthand. But in its simplest application, there's obviously a huge market in the computer's ability to recognise Chinese written characters and reproduce them as typed text.
I think the ultimate goal of making a pen-based computer for Chinese is that everybody, they know Chinese, they can use the computer, and this is our aim. So at least it is a quarter of people in the world, they can use it.
And how many people is that?
It is about 1 billion.
Surfing the internet, travelling cyberspace, exploring virtual reality, riding the information highway. Now that politicians and headline writers have got hold of all this jargon, it's easy to believe that there really is a whole new world out there. Films like Lawnmower Man and stories of virtual sex or teledildonics, how's that for a word, present a picture of a visually rich, all-encompassing experience, available through a computer and a telephone line. Of course, by comparison, the truth, surprise, surprise, is quite dull. Even the current virtual reality applications that allow people to use their computers to interact in an imaginary physical space are less dramatic than the CAD/CAM applications or even the computer animation that many of us are used to seeing. Obviously, something is happening out there, but with all the hype and misinformation surrounding the issue, it's hard to know exactly what it'll mean in the future and how far away that future is. Statistics show that most of the activity on global computer networks is still work-related. People do use their computers to communicate, but they don't, as many predicted, stay home and do their shopping, banking and visiting electronically. Well, not yet, anyway. Virtual reality is well established as a training tool in the military, medicine and business worlds, and you do see simplistic forms of it in entertainment arcades. Governments around the world are building comprehensive communications networks so that business can run more efficiently. They also have one eye on the use of these networks to monitor, control and tax the flow of information between their citizens. Big brother. The important thing to understand about all this change is that it affects the way we do things rather than the things we do. Cyberspace, virtual reality and the information highway are simply electronic versions of ideas that have been around for ages. 200 years ago, for instance, the idea of cyberspace may have been expressed through, say, the intellectual community, virtual reality, the theatre, and the superhighway, well, that might have been the postal service. In reality, they served much the same function.
With the aid of books, videos and slides, it's possible to discover a new country, all in the comfort of our own homes. One of the disadvantages with that, apart from not actually being there, is that we're looking at predetermined images. We're looking at someone else's point of view. Well, what if you could change that? What if you could look at what you want to look at? Say you were walking along the Great Wall of China, for instance, and you wanted to look over the side. Well, with new computer technology, that's exactly what you can do. Crunch Media in Los Angeles will shortly bring the King's home back to life with virtual Gracelands, a tour of Elvis's mansion accessed from your PC.
Well, we ran across a technology called navigable movies, and we felt that that was really a beautiful way to create an entertainment title that you could actually touch items by moving around a room and looking, rather than having a flat menu that says, you know, pick this, do you want a hamburger or a cheeseburger on a flat piece of paper. This was it's almost virtual, which is why we call this virtual Graceland. It's really almost a three-dimensional tour of Graceland, of Elvis's life, really, through the eyes of Graceland. We spent 2 weeks down in Graceland shooting 18 different locations with 20 different people. It took us about half a day, a room, just to shoot, to light it. We had Hollywood lighting crews come in. We had special camera mounts. We had zero-gravity arms, dollies, steady cams, every toy that Hollywood's ever had, that you've ever seen used in the films. We captured all the videos, stuck it into software that it makes the user really be able to use it easily once they stick it in their computer, and when it's all said and done, it's all down onto one of these.
This laser-encoded disc, or CD-ROM, stores about 650 megabytes of randomly accessible text, imagery and sound data. For the Elvis fan, though, it's the key to the home of a legend.
Here in the living room, Elvis received a special guest and entertained small groups of friends and family members. The blue, white, and gold color scheme is the color scheme Elvis preferred for the formal rooms in the home.
By pushing the mouse on the right side of the picture that you'll see, the camera will look to the right. Pushing it on the left side will make the camera turn to the left. Pushing it up top will make the camera zoom in, and pushing it on the bottom of the picture will make it pull back out again. And unlike the tour at Graceland, where you have to stand behind certain barriers and not allowed to go in and get the rugs dirty, here we've taken your shoes off for you and you can walk around all you want.
You can get the rugs dirty.
That's right.
Just beyond the passageway in the music room is where Elvis and his friends would gather for entertainment, having sing-alongs till the early morning hours.
We go into his music room, we can look around the music room, we can get up close to it, we can look right at that keyboard, I can bring in the keyboard, call it up on the screen, and I can play the songs. These are actually notes from Elvis's piano. Bring down a song and actually play the song.
Fantastic.
Let me go outside and show you what we've done outside.
You've done outside as well, huh?
We've actually, with all the home footage that was shot, we've tried to match the actual camera angles from the old home movies like you see here on the right, with the new footage that we shot today. And we allow people to walk around the pool.
Wow.
Take a look at the changing area of the pool, and then go back 30 years and watch Priscilla dive off the diving board. You see there's the same fountain there that's there. In a moment we see Elvis dive off.
Apart from having access to every square inch of Gracelands, users can view original home movies and memorable performances, all at the click of a button.
So the great news is, for the millions of Elvis fans, this disc will be out in around September of '94. In addition to that, we've got a number of other discs, A Brief History of Time, Stephen Hawking's scientific book. We're having the White House, tour of the White House. The possibilities are just endless, really.
It exists only in our minds, and does not have any other reality, whatever that may be.
Mumps, characterized by swollen, painful glands just beneath the angle of the jaw, causing the cheeks to puff out.
There, I was just using the Mayo Clinic compact disc to find out more about mumps, a great one for parents. As we've seen in previous episodes, the compact disc brings a heck of a lot of information right to your fingertips. In many cases, it's cheaper to buy information on a compact disc than it is to buy this printed version. As well as reference works, compact discs can be loaded with software, replacing hundreds of diskettes, libraries of pictures, movies, or, as we already know, music. This technology is called CD-ROM, and that's for read-only memory, because while you can read what's on the drive, you can't use its enormous capacity to store your own information. In order to use CD-ROM, you need to have a drive in your computer that can read the CD. Now, if you're buying a new computer, you can ask for a CD-ROM as an optional extra. Naturally, there's an extra cost. The new Macintosh and this new PC from Compaq come with the CD disk drive sound and video capabilities already built in. Otherwise, you'll have to buy an upgrade kit and install it yourself. CD-ROM drives can be external or internal. An internal drive takes up no extra desk space, but you do need room inside your computer. Before you buy an internal drive, it's a good idea to open your computer case to make sure it will actually fit. Internal drives are usually cheaper. To take full advantage of the software available on compact discs, you'll need to give your computer sound and video capabilities. On the audio-visual Macintoshes, that comes built in. Most Intel-based computers require a sound card and software to drive the video, the compact disc player, and the actual CDs themselves. There are lots of kits, often known as multimedia upgrade kits, that'll provide you with the complete solution. Installation is relatively easy. Once you have it all together, it's time to play, and it's a lot of fun. There are a number of options that you'll need to consider before buying a CD-ROM drive. They're available in different speeds. The most common is double speed, which makes it faster to use. Complex titles like those with sound and video will particularly need lots of memory. And look for CD-ROM players which comply with the CD-ROM XA standard. This lets you mix high-quality audio, animation and text all on the same CD. You can play ordinary sound CDs on most CD-ROM drives, but you'll need additional software to do it. CD-ROM is still an optional extra, but it's now within the price range of home consumers, and that's who most of the titles are aimed at.
What's that noise?
Hi, I'm Hayden. I'm the games reporter for the Big Byte, and this week we're going to look at the CD-ROM Games Platinum. And it's a shareware CD, which means it comes for a small price, which just covers the cost of making it. And it has 173 games on it, and they're all shareware from different people. So that means that if you like the game, they ask you to send a small fee, like $10 or $15 to them, and that'll keep them happy so they can keep writing more games. So there's 173 different titles, and some really good ones are Dominate, and Dominate's sort of like a strategy board game. There's red and green tiles, and you're the green tiles, and you have to multiply them. And every time you touch a red tile, which is the bad guy who's also multiplying, you get one turn each. Then he turns one of your pieces into one of his if he touches you. And if you touch him, then vice versa, and they turn into green squares. And then another one called Prairie Dog Hunt, and that's a nice little cute game which is good relief from office work or homework or whatever it is you're doing. And prairie dogs are these little cute things which pop out of holes. So when you call the prairie dogs, they'll start popping out. And if you have 20 dogs to kill, then they'll start coming out until you kill all those 20 dogs. And there's one at the front who has rabies. And every time he pops out, he bites you. And you have to shoot him before he bites you. If you can get bitten 5 times, then he kills you. And there's little gauges on the right-hand side show you how much ammo you've got, and down the bottom it shows you how much rabies you've got. So when you're bitten 5 times, it says, you got rabies. So then you have to stop playing. But when you've killed all the dogs, they wave a little white flag, and you go on to the next level. So that's a cool game. Anyway, so overall, for value for money, I give it about 8 out of 10. Thanks, I'm Hayden. See ya.
Next week on The Big Byte, much-needed assistance to thousands of bushfire victims is coordinated by specially written software. Wired is an incredibly successful publication that's caught the imagination of computer users worldwide. And a Norwegian family now have friends around the world through the internet.